Good evening. Welcome to the July 17th, 2023 regularly scheduled Valley View School Board meeting. I would ask that you silence your phones, rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Member Paduras. You got your, let's see here, board affirmation statement. Vice President Zach.
Our mission is to empower every learner to be college, career, and life ready, and to develop, grow, and achieve as a productive citizen.
Thank you. Down the agenda, Ms. Kinder.
Thank you, President Quigley. We're asking to approve the agenda as presented.
Your motion?
Second.
Motion and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Okay, moving down the agenda. Student and staff recognition. Have any of that tonight? No student staff? Okay. Treasurer's report, Mr. Renich, if you would please.
The Treasurer's Action Report 6.1 for the month of June includes the normal schedule of financial reports such as the balance sheet, summary revenues and expenditures, interim obligations, debt service payments totaling $10,747,511.03 for your approval.
Your motion?
So moved.
Motion and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Member Sutherland?
Yes.
Member Baduras?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
And President Quigley?
Yes. Mr. Renich.
6.2 schedule of bills for the month of June. We have 6 funds totaling bills payable of $6,139,326.87 for your approval.
Motion?
Second.
Motion and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Member Baduras?
Yes.
Member Sutherland?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
And President Quigley?
Yes. Mr. Renich.
6.3 schedule of bills. The schedule of bills for the month of July, we have 5 funds totaling bills payable of $5,056,304.87 for your approval.
Your motion?
I'll move.
And seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, hearing none. A roll call vote, please.
Member Sutherland?
Yes.
Member Baduras?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
And President Quigley?
Yes. Mr. Renich.
All right. In your packet, you have 6.4 summary of investments for the month of June, along with 6.5 state funding update, 6.6 property taxes received, 6.7 all schools trust account activity. This is an informational agenda item.
Anyone have any questions? If not, thank you, sir. Moving down the agenda, consent agenda items. Ms. Kinder.
We have 5 items under consent that we're seeking approval on this evening. 7.1, board meeting minutes, June 26, 2023. 7.2, executive session meeting minutes, June 26, 2023. 7.3, intergovernmental agreement with School Association for Special Education in DuPage County. 7.4, student activity contract yearbook sales, Humphrey Middle School. And 7.5, gifts to Dr. James Mitchum Early Childhood Center and Woodview Elementary School.
Have a motion? Motion and seconded. Mr. Burris and Mr. Zach. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, hearing none. A roll call vote, please.
Member Sutherland?
Yes.
Member Baduras?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
And President Quigley?
Yes. Liaison reports. Any and all from my right? Any and all from my left? I have one, if you will call it a board liaison report. We're going to establish a subcommittee of the Finance Committee. Mr. Baduras and Secretary Sikora have agreed to sit on to review staffing, salary, workflow, employee retention, various things. We will hope that the staff will be providing information and let them kind of go through it using their expertise and knowledge and report back to the Finance Committee of where we are. I think it's good that organizations this size on occasion do these types of things and just kind of understand where we are in the world and how we fit in with the rest of the community's education community and all the things that come with that. So look forward to something coming out of that in the next several months, but appreciate those guys volunteering to help out with this effort, so we will see where that goes. Moving down the agenda, consolidation, audience participation. Is there anybody in the audience who wishes to address the board this evening? Seeing none, hearing none. Moving down the agenda, action reports. Ms. Nash.
Yes, action report 10.1 is our consolidated action report. We're seeking your approval this evening on all items as presented.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion and seconded. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Member Badurus?
Yes.
Member Sutherland?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Abstain.
President Quigley?
Yes. Action report 11. Oh, no.
Thank you.
10.2.
Before I go on
Sorry,
to action
10.2,
report number
yep, that's right.
10.2, I'd like to take a moment to introduce Alexandra Correa. She is the new assistant principal at Tibbet. In the consolidated, we approved action for her to take that role.
Welcome.
I wish her a lot of luck. Thank
You
you.
want to come up and say hi, or no? You're good? Okay, thank you. Thanks for coming out. Let's see, action reports. Mr. Renich, Early Childhood Project.
I have
Oh,
one other
10.2,
action report.
sorry, job description.
Yep, 10.2 is approval of a job description. This was presented on June 12th of 2023. It is the speech and language pathologist assistant. So we're asking for approval this evening on that description.
Motion? Motion and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call
I
vote,
have one
please.
question.
Oh, wait, we have a question.
What's an assistant speech pathologist?
So an assistant speech pathologist is someone who works in tandem with a speech and language pathologist to deliver services. They have a specific license under the Illinois Department of Regulation. In some cases, when we have situations, for example, with remote speech pathology services, we would have an assistant who's able to assist with the delivery of the instruction in the place of that SLP's presence.
Any more questions? All right, moving down the agenda, we have a motion and a second. We need to approve this. Roll call vote, please.
Member Sutherland?
Yes.
Member Badurus? Vice President Zach?
Yes.
And President Quigley?
Yes. Mr. Renich, Early
Lem-
Childhood Project.
11.1 is a recommendation for professional services agreement as it relates to our Early Childhood Addition project. To meet the growing needs of our community, our district sought out means to expand its early childhood program. The district applied for and received an early childhood construction grant with a maximum award of $10 million. The next step in moving forward with this project is to put in place a professional service contract with the district's architect. The district's architect, DLA, has prepared a professional service proposal with the architectural fee of 9% of the estimated cost of the project. Based on a preliminary estimated budget, that fee would be $1,152,986, with an estimated cost of the project of $16,147,143. The fee percentage is consistent with the master agreement between DLA and Valley View School District and falls within the industry standards for professional architect and engineering services for the project of the scope and this size. It is also our intent to bring another action plan at later date for actual construction project, which will include more precise schedule. Some of the key features, timeline, and components working backwards are we're hoping to open this addition up in August of 2025, start site work around April 2024, bid projects, and bring recommendations to the boards sometime in January 2024, and have final drawings around November of 2023. So the administration is recommending that the Board of Education approve the amendment to the master agreement with DLA Architects to provide professional A&E services for the early childhood project to be located at Oakview Elementary School for a 9% fee plus additional services of the construction cost of the project.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Motion and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none. A roll call vote would be in order.
Member Sutherland?
Yes.
Member Badurus?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
President Quigley?
Yes. Liability insurance.
Tonight for your consideration, we have property casualty, student, accident, educators, legal liability insurance program renewal. According to Alliant, insurance rates continue to increase across all areas of insurance, with an overall renewal increases in the 10 to 25% range, and it's not limited to just school districts or public entities. This is particularly the case with cyber liability insurance, where the rates have been impacted by the ever-increasing cyber attacks and lack of sufficient controls. The recommendation from Alliant Insurance Services after marketing our renewal to over 30 markets is to keep our liability coverages with Liberty Mutual, the district's property coverage with affiliated FM, pollution liability with Iron Shore, storage tank liability with Nautilus, and student accident and catastrophic coverage with Guaranteed Trust Life. Overall, the insurance program will increase by $165,190, or 15.6%, at a total cost of $1,223,215. Just as a side note, I did have Alliant, the district's insurance consultant, begin to look at alternative options for Valley View, and there could be an opportunity to save approximately $250,000 next year. I will be inviting Alliant to future finance meetings to discuss this in more detail with our committee. So at this time, it's the administration's recommendation that the Board of Education approve Alliant Insurance Services to procure coverages as presented for the period of August 1st, 2023 to August 1st, 2024.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Do you have a second? Second? Is there any discussion? I'm just curious, why such a high, I mean, I know there's been a lot of insurance increases in the last couple of years. Is that just finally caught up with us?
We've had a lot of losses, too. If you look at the loss document in there, we've had a lot of bus accidents and car accidents, I think, which is really driving up our insurance rate, too, so.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion, we have a second. If there's no further discussion, roll call vote, please.
Member Badouris?
Yes.
Member Sutherland?
Yes.
Vice President Zach?
Yes.
And President Quigley?
Yes. Moving down the agenda, driver's ed vehicles. Speaking of driver's ed.
Both high schools are seeking new vehicles to replace their 2008 Chevy Impalas that have extensive mileage. We asked the driver's ed instructors to identify a vehicle that would best fit their needs. They recommended a Hyundai Sonata SEL, which is consistent with our current inventory. The vehicles will come with all the latest features such as blind spot detection, rear cross traffic warning, and lane change assistance. On June 15, 2023, we solicited via the Herald News and sent bids to 3 dealers. On June 28th, we received 1 bid from Darcy Hyundai of Joliet. So it is the administration's recommendation that the Board of Education approve the purchase of 2 2023 Hyundai Sonata SEL sedans from Darcy Hyundai of Joliet at a cost of $56,530.
We have a motion, we have a second? We have a second. Discussion. I just have a comment. With all this EV stuff in the state of Illinois requiring some of that, at some point, we're gonna have to transition into that, correct? And then we're gonna have to incur a cost to run EV charging stations to our parking lots where those cars are parked, and so on and so on. So that's just something that's gonna be out there on the radar. I don't know when, but I know that the state's trying to move towards state vehicles and other fleet vehicles by 2030? Something along those lines. So this is something to be think about. If we buy cars now, next set of cars, we might start considering EVs just as a matter of practicality.
Yeah, we'd have to put that infrastructure in, obviously, and make sure that our transformers and,
Well, and that's a bigger cost, not for cars necessarily, but when we start talking
the
about
charging
this with
stations.
buses. And we've had some behind-the-scenes discussions on it. I want people to understand, you can't just plug in 150 buses into the current grid system. There will be a sizable impact financially to the district to incur that. So if there are federal grants and all the other things, you know, they incentivize the vehicles and they're doing all that, which is just grand and dandy. But that doesn't help us if we have to put $5 million worth of infrastructure in just to plug the buses in. So, and the cost of electric buses is very expensive.
I know Mr. Lopez, when we have done paving projects, has looked at putting the underground piping in.
All the things that
prepare
go
that
along
so
with-
that we would be able to do that. And obviously, there's the learning aspect of a student learning how to drive from an electric vehicle versus a.
Correct, and they are a lot different.
Car.
They are rockets on roller skates. So, we have a motion, we have a second.
Wait, hold on. Have these Hyundais been updated with the new security, also they can't be stolen with the?
I will make sure that they are.
So, we have a motion and we have a second. If there's no further discussion, roll call vote, please.
Member Badurus,
Yes.
Member Sutherland,
Yes.
Vice President Zach,
Yes.
and President Quigley.
Yes. Board policies, Ms. Kinder.
We are seeking the board's approval of Board Policy 5125, Personal Technology and Social Media Usage and Conduct. This is a new board policy that was available for adoption per the Illinois Association of School Board Press Service and presented for information on June 26, 2023. This has been reviewed by legal counsel with appropriate senior administration with plans to implement and regularly review the provisions of the policy. The policy provides safeguards to protect both students and staff from harmful use of social media. This will help keep the district and employees in compliance with state and federal guidelines for protection of private student information, data, as well as protection of the district's internal networks. Staff will provide continued voice with respect to the adoption of communication platforms that will be determined as district approved under the policy. This information will be updated and presented annually for all staff to acknowledge as part of the district's acceptable use policy. Our goal is to continue to support communication between staff, students, and families that is safe for all users.
We have a motion. Second. We have a motion, we have a second. Mr. Badurus, Ms. Sutherland first, Mr. Badurus second. Is there any discussion on the new board policies? If not, roll call vote, please.
Member Sutherland,
Yes.
Member Badurus,
Yes.
Vice President Zach,
Yes.
President Quigley.
Yes. Moving down the agenda, superintendent information reports.
Okay, tonight I just have three updates or reminders for the community, and then we have an information report from our technology department. So first, I would like to present the, here we go. You can just advance that slide for me. There we go. So our one thing that we have been working on in the background was updating our web presence. So we have a fresh new look with a new website. Part of this was because of a transfer in the platform that hosts our website, but it also allows us the update to really simplify the navigation, have better search results, better translation features with accessible content in every language. So it is definitely streamlined, and so take some time to explore that. We have shifted a lot of our staff content over into our Google platform. So for our families and our larger community and our students, this is hopefully a great user experience. A digital presence as well on the phone. Simple, organized, and accessible. And a reminder to complete online registration by Friday, August 4th. So in the past week, the postcard reminders have hit home mailboxes, and the back to school guide can be accessed online. So please complete online registration by Friday, August 4th. Take advantage of the early bird fee discount for registration and get the process complete to ensure that your school schedules and teacher assignments are set and your students are ready to go. You can also find very valuable information in that back to school guide related to meet and greets, welcome nights, the other important information coming out that our schools will be also putting out on social media. So please stay tuned in so you are ready for the first day of school. And we are still hiring. It's an ongoing process, always as in any school district in the country. But we are still looking for security guards, paraprofessionals, lunchroom playground aides, and some certified educator positions as well. So please spread the word, visit us online, and become a part of the Valley View Heart.
What about bus drivers?
Bus drivers, that's a big one.
Don't forget about the bus. Don't forget the bus drivers. We need those
Definitely
guys.
cannot forget our bus drivers. And we have had even our own transportation staff out in the community it just out in the community, also at job fairs, helping to promote and spread the word. And that's the best way to get people to consider that opportunity. Great flexibility with schedules, have a schedule that's work with the student day. So please spread the word. We need you. And then some important dates upcoming for online registration, our next board meeting, and of course we welcome all of our educators back and support staff on August 14th, and our first day of school for K-12 is August 17th, and for our littlest learners, we will see you on August 21st.
Ready?
All right, and then before we get to the technology strategic planning update, I do want to invite Mr. Herder, Executive Director of Educational Services for grades 6 through 12, to give us just a brief overview of a new course proposal for item 13.2.
Good evening. The information report for this evening in the packet is regarding the Illinois Global Scholar Certificate. This is a certificate that has been developed by the Illinois State Board of Education and is focused on the fact that, as we all know, learning has become a global endeavor. A lot of the courses we have, of course, get into global issues. What we will be able to offer our students is a chance to earn this certificate through 4 different tasks, essentially. They have to take 8 globally focused courses. They have to take a globally focused service learning activity or experience, have some sort of global collaboration or dialogue experience with an expert in a global field, and then also complete a global scholar capstone project. And so currently we have approximately 40 courses that will qualify towards the 8-course requirement. The capstone would be a new course that we're proposing for the 2024-2025 school year to round out the requirements to earn the full certificate for students. As it's summer, we did not invite educators this evening for the information report, but we will bring this report back for action at the next board meeting with educators as well to present information and answer any questions you have. But if you have any questions in the meantime, please let me know.
An elective?
It would be an elective course, and it would be for junior year and senior year only.
So you have to take 8 classes out of 40 that are offered currently.
So we can determine
this.
which of our courses qualify, and we've determined, I think it's 42 is what's listed in the board report right now, of courses that we already offer, and you would need to take 8 of those courses along the way. And many students take 3, 4 of these courses. Almost all of our students take 3 or 4 of these. It would just be students who wanted to pursue the full certificate that would take the additional courses and then complete the capstone project.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else got any questions?
Yes, I did. How are the students going to be selected? Because it's a limited number of students that will be in this program. So is there a criteria that they'll be following, or?
So we wouldn't limit any student who was interested in completing it. One of the aspects we have in our sort of course work plan for students heading into high school, they have a 4-year plan of what courses they want to take. And so in advance, we would know some students at least coming in who are interested in this, and their courses would be mapped out accordingly, which would give us a bit of a number of what we can expect. And we'd also have course requests in advance of registration each year, which we always do, which gives us an idea of about how many students would like to take certain courses. Now, we can't always accommodate a seat for every student who's interested, but we would treat this elective the same as all of our others. And you know, the idea would be to get as many students as possible through the experience, because they actually get the certificate from the Illinois State Board. So it's a rigorous program. So any student interested, we would try to make as much room as possible.
Thank you. All right, moving on the agenda, board policies.
Okay, there's 2 policies for information and review this evening, again, reviewed in accordance with the various federal and state laws and with the Illinois Association of School Board Press Policy and Legal Counsel. School Board 2110, qualifications, term, and duties of board officers, and under instruction 6135, accelerated placement program. If you have any questions, you can reach out or contact the board attorney.
Thank you. Moving down the agenda, technology strategic planning update.
Okay, so now I would like to invite Mr. Rob Gilmore down to the podium. Mr. Gilmore is the Executive Director of our Technology Department, has done a phenomenal job in his first year transitioning into this very big role. And with the army of support, He's going to share with you just some updates about all of the happenings in the technology department that is furthering the work of our strategic plan.
Thank you so much, Superintendent Kinder. Good evening to the board, President Quigley. Hoping everybody is having a great day. And so today, we are here to talk about administrative services and technology department, really how we fit into the strategic plan. I want to say that Educational Services has done a great job talking about the wonderful things that they're doing in support of our students and families, but we really want to give a little portrait, a little insight to how Technology Services fits into all of this. So you've seen our Portrait of a Learner, you've seen our strategic planning, and you've heard about the stewardship of resources, how we take care of the resources within the district. When you're talking about the technology department, some of the things that we're really looking for is, first of all, utilizing those funds. For this year alone, we utilized $658,000 for E-rate, $415,000 for internet services. And having that partnership with John Renish and our other departments, we're really looking at how we can make our devices sustainable. I was just talking to Jim Blaney. We were just talking about how life changed during the pandemic and how we had to get devices out to the people. Well, now 3 years later, we got to figure out how to make that sustainable, how to keep devices going out to our students. So one of the things that we've done was we've created a 4-year plan on device replenishment. I'm sorry, Dr. Renish, I'm giving you a doctorate tonight. Mr. Renish and I really sat down and we looked at, instead of using these short-term loans, looking at how we can make this planning available to purchase devices. And so we've really been busy trying to be stewards of our resources. ERP. I feel like I've talked so much about ERP, and I just really want to make sure everybody knows how significant and how important this project is. Just really quickly, when I first started here in 2019, I was told 2 things. I was told, A, Robert, we have this new student information system. This is our first year. It's Infinite Campus. I was like, yeah, I know Infinite Campus. That's nice. Then I was told, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to be replacing this 30-year-old AS400 system with HR, finance, and payroll. And I'm like, yeah, how hard could that be? You hire people. If somebody makes $48,000 and 24 pays, you pay them $2,000 each paycheck. I had no idea what a general ledger account was and how it was utilized. Fast forward 4 years later, oh my gosh, we have learned so much about how everything is interconnected, how supporting 3,000 staff, how immense it is, how you onboard a staff member, what does hiring mean? What does a substitute mean? All of these different terms. Who punches in? Who doesn't punch in? It is incredible, but we've had an incredible team supporting us over these last 3 years. I really want to send a shout out to these individuals, Mr. Renish and Dr. Nash, Joanne Borg, who is gone, Amanda Callum, Judy Wang, Lindsay Janata, Brandy McCurry, Ravel, Lily Nash, Craig Kirtley. All of these individuals have put in countless hours, countless months, countless years now, putting this together to make sure that we have these efficiencies in place and we could really, truly be the stewards of our resources. Really quickly, what I'd like to do is I would like to really talk about who is the technology department. I've spoken to some people and I would say, yeah, our infrastructure team is going to handle this. And they're like, well, Robert, what's the infrastructure team? So just really quickly, I just wanted to talk about the 4 branches within the technology department. First, it's our infrastructure team. They're like the central nervous system of our district. They're the wireless, they're your phones, your internet, things like that. After that, we have our operations department. These are the guys who are getting the Chrome Care Center. So when a student Chromebook isn't charged that night, they can come in and trade one in the next day. Your laptops, your software applications, the devices that are getting pushed out as we speak. Admin computing operations, that's my former team. Those are the teams, that's where all the data comes from. So 9 times out of 10, if there's any data in the district, ACO has probably had their fingerprints on it, whether it's the ERP systems, whether it's student information systems, or whether it's getting data reported to the state. My favorite team, by the way, yeah, since I came from there. Information privacy and security. You just heard Mr. Renish talk about our liability insurance. It's this team who keeps our data private. It keeps our students' information safe. What's going on? What's next? Well, right now, summer is hot, right? So we have about 7,000 devices that we've got to get ready this summer before school starts. So we're talking iPads for our early childhood learners, which is going to be their first year. iPads for kindergartners. We're talking about 440 smart boards that have to get installed before that August 14th date. And just really keying in on the collaboration that it takes to do this. You have instructional technology working with the teachers saying, what is it that you need? You have maintenance scheduling, all right, how are we going to get the installs done? And then you have the tech department saying, okay, how can we make sure these talk to our system? So a lot of collaboration there, and I'm really proud of that effort to get 440 devices while we have schools' summer programs going on and having all those ready for day one for our educators. I'm really excited about that. Other things that we have, I mean, surveillance projects going on, online registration, we just talked about that. How can we make that process easier for our community to register every year? ERP, we still are looking at least another year as far as rolling that project out. And really just looking at our communication services throughout the district. So our hands are going to be a little full, you know, over the next year or so, but we're really happy. We're really proud to say that we can help support our strategic planning, and we are here to serve. So could I take any questions? Hear none, see none.
I have a couple questions. Are committee members compensated for being on a committee?
Committee members compensated? No, not that I am aware of.
Who picked your committee?
Are you referring to the steering committee, the enterprise resource planning?
Yeah.
Those are the,
I'm so sorry.
yeah,
I'm
the,
so sorry.
the individuals who are most closely connected in the finance and human resource and technology world. Mr. Gilmore can speak to that.
Sorry, I misunderstood the question. Got it. Any others?
When we have, I know you do this, but we have, how often do we recycle devices? Or do we just, they come to the end of their useful life, or are they, and you just turn them back in, or what's?
That's a
We
great
gotta have
question.
thousands of devices that roll off every year, every other year.
That's a great question. So our philosophy has changed a little bit. It used to be, we used to use devices until what they call end of life. The problem with that is the end of life on the device might be 8-10 years, but the practical usability on that device might be 4 to 5. So we're really looking at that 4-year window as far as how we utilize our devices. And then after they get past that 4th year, that's when we start saying, well, how can we utilize them in other ways, whether it's an SRL or anything like that. But we really want to make sure that our devices stay in that 4-year window to keep them running efficiently.
Curious.
And that math works perfectly for our grade levels, so that a student should be able to see 3 devices
Right, the next
through their
level.
tenure of the district, and that's one of the things that we worked on very closely to amortize that across the life of a student, so.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Thank you.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it. Mr. Renich, school roofing. Assuming that's you.
Valley View School District was awarded a grant made available through the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, known as DCEO. The grant is for improvements to the Pioneer School's roof in the amount of $500,000. The Pioneer Roof Project has been identified as part of the district's 5-year capital improvement plan. The roof area under construction is original to the building, built in 2000, and is approaching its life expectancy. As mentioned, Valley View was awarded $500,000 grant by the DCEO, which will represent the full value of the project, and it's important to note that no matching amounts are required by the district. The project has been issued for bid, which are due on July 24th, with an anticipated construction start date of late August, subject to board approval. This is an informational report, and no board action is requested at this time.
Thank you. Job descriptions.
Yes, information report 13.6 is job descriptions. We are providing you tonight with 5 job descriptions for your review. One of them is a new job description, and the other are revisions to currently existing job descriptions. We'll be seeking your approval at the August 7th board meeting.
Anybody have any questions or comments? Take a look at those, and if you do, you know who to talk to. On the agenda, report.
No formal report tonight.
Thank you. Some of you might wonder why we have an attorney sit here. They keep us out of trouble, and they do a lot of things for the district on a regular basis. It's just behind-the-scenes things, but they're a very necessary part of running an organization this big. So just shout out to John and his team, because they're always we're on the phone with them at some point, or emails or something fairly regularly, I would say. So thank you, Mr. O'Driscoll. Moving down the agenda, AFT report. Apparently no report. Valley View Council report. Same. Valley View office personnel report. Oh, you do? Come on down. Oh, you have no report. Thank you. Any old business before the board this evening? Any new business before the board this evening? Freedom of information requests are always handled by Mr. Blaney in the back. He's nodding his head. He's waving. And they are available on our website. Any announcements by the board from my right? My left? Any announcements by the administration? I think you kind of covered it with your report about when things are happening and how soon. If there's nothing else, a motion to adjourn would be in order. We have a motion? Second. And we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Enjoy the rest of your summer, such as it may be. Stay cool if you can, and enjoy. Be careful out there.